Hey Pisces, good morning. Welcome to your November reading. We're going to go ahead and see what comes in for your energy today. Pisces, as I was meditating on your energy, one of the main messages that came in was that some of you are about to receive an early Christmas present, an early Christmas. There's a lot of good momentum, a lot of positive energy coming your way, and there was a message from last time's reading. I haven't posted the reading yet, but I will be posting it soon. And the message that was coming in was the fact that you're going to be surprised how fast things can change for you, how fast things can actually go in your favor, and that things are going to start to pick up. There's going to be a lot of positive momentum coming your way. And also the number 8 was coming in, so good karma coming your way as well. Let's go ahead and tune in and see what comes in for your energy today, Pisces. Holy Spirit, please channel through the messages that will be most beneficial to the Pisces collective at this time. Also, guys, if you ordered a private reading, there's a few private readings and services that have been sent out. Also on the initiation side, I will be getting back to more initiation services and more private readings today, tomorrow, and during the weekend. So yeah, just keep an eye out for those. If you would like to book a service, the information is in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, that was fast. So Knight of Pentacles, the Hangman in the reverse. Okay, we have High Priestess, 3 of Pentacles, the Lovers, the 10 of Cups, and the King of Cups. Pisces, some of you are connecting with a water sign, a King of Cups energy. Okay, High Priestess, your energy is all over this reading. We have the Hangman, Pisces energy, High Priestess, Pisces energy, King of Cups, Pisces energy. Pisces, I don't know if you're either connecting with another Pisces or if your energy is just all over this reading. It's coming in strong. We have a lot of water cards with the 10 of Cups and again, the King of Cups coming in, very strong water energy. Pisces, I don't know, Lovers is also here. Some of you may be connecting with a water sign and some of you very specifically a King of Cups or another Pisces, okay? Because we have the Lovers coming in with the 10 of Cups. We're going to clarify, see what comes in for your reading because I want to know a little bit more about these energies coming in. But before we do, I'm going to pull some cards from the Oracle before we get started. Knight of Pentacles to the Hangman, Pisces, you're getting unstuck. You're getting out of some kind of mental, emotional, or physical stagnation because the Hangman in the reverse with the Knight of Pentacles, when these two cards come out together, it talks about very, very, very slow moving energy. That Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight out of the entire tarot deck. But he's the slow and steady wins the race. You know, he has this very slow pace, very practical, step-by-step kind of process, how he goes about his goals and his, you know, life achievements is, again, planting the seeds, watering those seeds, nurturing the seeds until he gets to the harvest. But when it's paired with the Hangman and the Hangman's in the reverse, it can really just talk about delays, stuck or stagnant energy, again, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, but that's coming to an end because the Hangman is in the reverse. Again, Pisces, High Priestess being your card, your intuition is very heightened at this time, and some of you Pisces, you may be experiencing this sensation of being tired, like going to sleep and sleeping, I don't know, maybe like your full 8 hours, or, you know, you go to sleep and you sleep, right? Like you're going into the dream state, but maybe when you're waking up, you're not fully present. You're not fully here. You may feel a little bit exhausted or tired even after sleeping. And High Priestess indicates that you have a very heightened intuition. So you may be getting a lot of messages, a lot of synchronicities in the dream state. So that might be something to pay attention to. Yeah, Holy Spirit, any advice for Pisces that highlights their energy at this time? So we're going to pull a few from the Oracle. So you're on the right path. Patience. Tell me a little bit more. Path to High Priestess, patience, let go. We have the Lovers and the 10 of Cups. Pisces, there's something here with let go that's connected to the Hangman. There may be a behavior or a habit or a pattern, and for some of you, it literally may just be a routine that, you know, you're now really accustomed to or really used to or maybe bored of. that there may need to be a letting go or releasing those habits, those patterns. But for some of you, it's literally a routine, something that you do on a day-to-day basis. As you can see here, these are two different decks, right? This is the Oracle, this is the Tarot. You see how she's kind of like falling, right? You see how it's kind of very similar. There's a need to let go of a pattern, a learned behavior, a habit, a way of being, or a way of thinking that is keeping you in a mold, or is keeping you stuck, or is not letting you advance or grow to the next level. And it's also, as you let go of this routine or this habit, you're going to be freed from stagnation. You're going to be freed from maybe even having low energy or being exhausted. But yeah, this Hangman in the reverse highlights the shadow qualities of the Hangman. So it's not like it doesn't highlight the positive side, it highlights the shadow. So it's something that needs to be released, and that's going to help you level up. It's going to help you move on to the next level and cross or break through some kind of a glass ceiling that's been holding you in place. It's like you've had the patience to really give yourself the time that you need, go through the shadow work, go through the process, do the daily things. Knight of Pentacles, you've been planting a lot of seeds, Pisces, and you've had that patience. You've had to really hone in on that patience, and you are on the right path. But there's something here that may be weighing you down, okay? And I'm getting specifically for some of you, it's a routine that's weighing you down, or it's a routine that you've grown accustomed to that maybe now is just, a little boring. Because it's like I feel some kind of connection to this Hangman in the reverse with the Knight of Pentacles and this let go. So I will clarify this let go card, but before we do, I'm going to pick 2 more cards from the Oracle side, and then we're going to dive into the reading. Holy Spirit, any other messages that Pisces needs to be aware of, or that Pisces needs to know? What do you want Pisces to know, Holy Spirit? Okay, boundaries. Okay, yes, that makes sense. We have a lot of water energy coming in, Pisces. Your energy is very strong in this reading. It's either your energy is very strong, or you have a water sign in your life right now, or specifically another Pisces, okay? Because we have a lot of Pisces cards. And when, okay, if it's you and another water sign connecting, or you and another person that has very strong water placements, or you and another Pisces, there needs to be a boundary established. Because water just tends to kind of merge together. And before you know it, you've connected emotionally, intellectually, mentally, on all levels, and you don't know where the line's at. It's like the lines tend to get blurred. So maybe, you're needing to establish some kind of boundary to keep yourself and your energy intact, to keep yourself recharged, and so that you're not investing too much of yourself into someone or into something. Okay, so boundaries, very, very strong. I'm feeling a lot of water energy coming in with boundaries, because if you think about it, water tends to just merge. Water tends to just kind of flow, and that's what lacks a boundary. So I'm going to have to clarify both of these cards, and we will. I'm going to pull one last card from the Oracle, and then we're going to dive in. Pisces, if you are connected with another Pisces or a water sign, or someone who has very strong water placements, this is going to be very, very important for you, okay? To keep your own, your own space, your own sense of privacy, to not get drained or to overinvest yourself or to overgive into a person or a situation. What else do you want Pisces to know? Okay, gratitude. All right, so we are going to put these to the side here, and we're going to start to clarify some of these cards. So before I start saying anything, I want to clarify the let go and the boundaries. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about let go? What does Pisces need to let go of? Okay, 5 of Swords in the reverse. You need to let go of overthinking, overanalyzing. 5 of Cups. You need to let go of some kind of sadness or disappointment. 9 of Wands. You also need to let go of your defensiveness. Pisces, some of you, whether consciously or unconsciously, you've placed a wall, and it feels more like a wall than a boundary, okay? You see this 9 of Wands, how she's kind of built this little fort? That's more of a wall, okay? This is more defensive, this is more protective, whereas boundaries are more about balance and more about having that, like, this is my space, this is your space, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know what emotions and what feelings belong to you and what belongs to another person. So you don't take on their baggage, you don't take on their energy. You know where the line's at, okay? So that's boundaries. Walls is more about being defensive or protective. It's also, you know, it can also highlight an insecurity of needing to feel safe within yourself. And so it comes more from like a negative place, whereas boundaries come in to maintain a healthy balance. But 9 of Wands comes in as a more defensive, protective energy. And for some of you, this is preventing you from either going all into something or exploring something or opening up or going further into your connections, because there is this sense of protection. But Pisces, I gotta be honest, this protectiveness or this defensiveness is coming in because of the 5 of Cups and because of the 5 of Swords. So 5-5 coming in. In the past, you went through some kind of major disappointment, okay? This can talk about grief, loss, heartbreak, disappointment, disillusionment. It's kind of like, you know, you have this idea of a person or a situation, and all of a sudden the rose-colored glasses just come off. And all that magic, you know, the butterflies just go away, and it's just like, you know, it's like the rose-colored glasses get shattered, and there's no way of going back. And also, it can be the fact that it feels better or it looks better in your mind than it does in reality. Because this is all about, you know, the veil coming off, you know, being in disillusionment, being in some kind of disappointment. And this happened in the past, because this is something that you need to let go of. Because of this disappointment, because of this disillusionment, you've grown very protective of yourself, so that you don't get caught up in overthinking, overanalyzing, being overly critical of yourself and other people as well. And so this is something that needs to be released, because it's holding you down and it's weighing you down. And I don't know why this is coming in, but as soon as I started to clarify these cards, I feel some pressure on my shoulders and like my back here, like my neck. So some of you may literally feel weighed down, okay? Like upper back, shoulders, neck area. You may feel like a weight is literally on your shoulders, not just like in like an emotional or, you know, like that saying of like, you know, you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like you may physically feel some pressure on your shoulders, on your neck, your upper back, and it's weighing you down. And it's also bringing in this kind of like closed off energy of being defensive. But Pisces, the most important part about this is that, yes, it's weighing you down, but it also may be pulling on your energy. So you may feel a little bit tired, you may feel a little bit exhausted, or you may not feel fully present in your reality, right? Like you may not feel fully like mentally awake or mentally sharp, because you do have, I don't want to call it baggage, because it just may be that you had an experience in the past that now you are very protective of yourself because of that. But it's not showing up in a healthy way. It's showing up as something that needs to be let go of and released, because honestly, Pisces, you have really good cards. High Priestess to the Lovers, to the 10 of Cups, to the King of Cups. You have a lot of good things coming into your life, but there's a need for things to be functional, for things to work together, whether it's you and another person, you in a new environment, in a new situation. The 3 of Pentacles talks about some kind of chemistry, compatibility, making something work, seeing daily progress, building on something. And so these energies may be weighing you down, okay? Whether it's pulling on your energy, you know, you're feeling a little bit more exhausted, more defensive, whatever it is, there's a need to let go of that. So 5 of Swords to the 5 of Cups. I do want to touch base on this 5 of Cups energy. Pisces is coming in as past, so it's not something that's currently happening in your life right now, but it may be something that you're still feeling, like an aftertaste of whatever happened in the past that pulled you into this Hangman in the reverse, okay? Any kind of stagnation, delays, self-sabotage, self-sacrifice, a routine that is no longer helping you progress. Maybe you're bored of this routine. That's what needs to be released, okay? This is very, very strongly highlighted. And then the 9 of Wands, again, it talks about that defensiveness. So 5 of Cups coming in. Grieving, disillusionment, disappointment, betrayal, bitterness, wallowing, self-pity can signify a broken heart. Not letting go of past trauma, crying over spilled milk, rooting deeply into shadow work without healing and letting go, old stories that become a part of you, callousness, becoming jaded. Ooh, yes, Pisces, I really felt that, okay? That jaded energy is what I felt. It feels like it's not something that you're currently like, it's not something that just happened. It's something that has been happening, or you've been feeling like this. So maybe you try and keep busy, maybe you try and focus into your work, maybe you try and focus into your daily life, but this is something that's still kind of playing in the background. So 5 of Cups energy, my tender heart helps me navigate towards my bright future. The illusion is lifting, and you may suddenly find yourself in the middle of a reality that is painfully disappointing. If your dark night was a result of someone else's deception, you will need to find the seeds of forgiveness in order to avoid a caroused heart. Release yourself from any guilt around the situation. When we realize that the future we're working towards is no longer an option, it's easy to focus on the loss and allow our energy to stagnate and spiral into self-pity. Don't allow your life force to drain away with the things you once loved. Okay, that's what I was getting. I couldn't put it into words, but yeah, it's like this energy of being exhausted or tired, but it's really your life force draining away, because this chapter needs to be closed out. Like, it needs to be cleared. Not just healing, not just doing the shadow work, not just reliving the pain, but bringing some kind of closure, a clear ending to that chapter, to that phase in your life. Yeah, so your life force draining away with things you once loved. Allow your tender heart to navigate towards the creative magic of finding faith in your future. If you're having a hard time letting go, unhook your heart from your fragmented dreams and give yourself permission to envision a brighter future. Dismantle your grief, reclaim your happiness, and consciously step back onto the path filled with hope. Yeah, okay, so that message, Pisces, I feel like it's come up in some of your other readings, like the sense of a little bit of a loss of hope or a loss of faith. For some of you, even a loss of direction. But the confirmation here is that you are on the right path. If you went through something in the past that didn't turn out the way that you thought, or that you expected, or that the way that you wanted to, there may need to be a full-on ending to that, so that you could release whatever didn't work out and move on, because you have a lot of good things coming in. Again, all of your cards overall are very good. It's just kind of highlighting some of the things from the past that are still pulling on your energy. So yeah, 5 of Swords to 5 of Cups to 9 of Wands. There's a need to let go of the defensiveness, or being overprotective of yourself, or not trusting people. In the 5 of Cups, the disappointment, the disillusionment. 5 of Swords, overthinking, overanalyzing every little detail. And most importantly, Pisces, because you're a water sign, having those boundaries in place with other people, with other situations, so that it doesn't pull on your energy, so that it doesn't take away from your life force. So 9 of Wands coming in. Pisces, some of you may still be in some kind of fight or flight or survival mode. Okay, that's just for some of you. I don't know why it's coming in this way. The 9 of Wands represents the warrior, and it also represents not giving up, because you're very close to an outcome. You're very close to some kind of goal, success, or achievement. So it talks about not letting go on the positive side, but on the shadow side, it talks about, again, being defensive, overprotective, having walls over boundaries. Okay, so that needs to be released. Let's go ahead and clarify boundaries coming in. Okay, and this is actually really interesting, because we have boundaries right underneath the Lovers. So Pisces, some of you in relationships and connections, you need to have better boundaries. You need to have healthier boundaries. And this is on the side here. I don't know for who this is, but it's coming in more intuitively. Some of you need to voice out. Some of you need to express yourself and voice out things that you don't want to do. Okay, like not doing something because somebody else wants to do it. Like if you genuinely don't want to do that, it could just be as simple as, maybe a friend or a partner, or, maybe somebody that you're in a relationship with, they want to go do something, right? And it's like, you're just really not into that. It's not your vibe, right? Maybe they want to go, I don't know, maybe they want to go camping or something, or maybe they want to go to a football game, or, and it's like, just kind of like an example, you may not like that, right? Like you may not go camping, or you may not like to go fishing, or you may not like to go to a football game or something like that, but they do. And so boundaries is coming in the sense of, saying no when you actually mean no. Like that's not something you would want to do. That's not something that you would like to do. And instead of feeling, pulled into saying yes to spend time with them, or, just because you feel like you should have to say yes, it's like there needs to be a boundary of like, okay, I don't really like that. This is what I like. What are some things that you like that we both can agree on and align in, so that we do those things together, and not like you're having to compromise yourself. I don't know. it's something's trying to come in, but I don't know how to articulate it or how to word it. But it's coming in as lovers. So in relationships, in connections, whether romantic, platonic, friendships, boundaries is coming in as like, okay, don't do things that you don't want to do, or don't say yes just because, you know, you want to spend time or share time together when it's not something that you want to do. Okay, so something here, I'm having a hard time expressing this, but I feel like there's something coming in here, like you need to express what it is that you want, but also like follow through with it. Like don't be shy, or don't hold back on things that you want. Don't be the one to compromise, okay? Like there needs to be an equal give and take. Like don't be the first one to have to compromise. Okay, if it's not something that you like, it's not something that you want to do, don't feel pressured to. Okay, and have those clear boundaries of, okay, like that's not my thing. I really don't like that. I'd rather do this. Okay, I don't know, it's coming in weird. This is coming in more as an intuitive message, but yeah, lovers to boundaries. There needs to be boundaries in communication, and boundaries is not just expressing the fact that you have a boundary, it's also being able to enforce it and implement it to the point where it is respected and it is honored, so that you don't feel like, again, like you're not enjoying yourself in a relationship or in a situation, or you're having to give more or compromise more than the other person is. This may be something that you struggle with, Pisces, boundaries. And again, having all this water energy, it's understandable. Water signs tend to be the ones that struggle most with boundaries. Out of the four elements, okay? When it comes to fire, earth, air, water tends to be the one that merges, right? That just flows. So yeah, some of you may have a very big lesson in this life to learn boundaries. Not just with other people and situations and environments, but also within yourself. Boundaries within yourself can talk about self-love, discipline, having structure, routines that, you know, allow you to be there for yourself and have that balance in your life. Okay, I'll clarify and we'll see what else comes in. But yeah, I don't know for who that message is for, but don't feel like you have to over-compromise or compromise for somebody else, okay? If you don't like to do something, or if you're not really into something, or you're not really feeling something, like, don't be afraid to say no. I like to do this, this, and this, and we can agree to spend time in this way, but it's like, don't overgive or don't over-compromise in a situation and have those boundaries of like, yeah, this is just not my thing, or I don't enjoy that. Some of you, Pisces, may be in a connection where you're trying to find things to agree on or spend time together and both enjoy it, but you guys may be very different. Maybe there's like an age gap, maybe there's just different interests, and I don't know, it just feels like there's a need to meet in the middle here. There's a need to meet in the middle and have some kind of balance, and this is going to lead to a very successful relationship or connection to be able to establish these boundaries. For some of you, Pisces, it's like you don't want to be texting all the time. You don't want to be on the phone all the time. Like there's not a whole lot to say, okay? So it's like maybe somebody texts you a lot, or they call you a lot, or they expect you to, you know, just show up. And it's like there's not much to say here. So maybe there's a boundary of like, okay, we don't need to be texting all the time. We don't need to be calling all the time. So that you're not like too much in each other's space. So that there's that distance to miss each other and to be able to come together in a more, you know, in a place of wanting to and not feeling like you have to. Okay, I don't really know how the message is coming in, Pisces, but it's clearly coming in underneath lovers. So that may be a big lesson for you, okay, in terms of your relationships, your connections, being able to implement those boundaries. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about boundaries? Please clarify boundaries, Holy Spirit. What do you want Pisces to know? Okay, we have the moon. Okay, more water energy coming in. So we have the Hangman, the High Priestess, the Ten of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Moon. Pisces, there's a lot of water energy coming in here. It's either you're dealing with a water sign, or you're dealing with another Pisces, or your energy is very, very strong in this reading. But there's almost all the water cards that highlight the Piscean energy are out. So this is really interesting. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about boundaries? Please clarify boundaries for Pisces. Okay, the Devil. The Page of Swords. Okay, Pisces, yes, this is exactly what I was feeling, and I couldn't actually put it into words. Yeah, boundaries are so important for something not to turn toxic, for something not to overdo something, not to do something in excess. But Boundaries is literally the one thing that's preventing either a relationship or a connection, or how you connect with others is the only thing that can keep things healthy instead of it becoming toxic and obsessive. Whether you're thinking too much about a person, or they're thinking too much about you, or they're constantly wanting to text or call or be in contact to the point where it could feel like a little bit too much, like excessive. Why the devil, Holy Spirit? Why the devil? Okay, there's too many cards. I'm gonna do this one more time. Why the devil, Holy Spirit? Why is the devil here? Strength in the reverse. Why the devil? Queen of Cups in the reverse. Pisces, another one of your cards. Okay, are you serious? King of Cups, Queen of Cups. And Nine of Wands in the reverse. Again. Now we have it in the reverse. It was in the upright just a minute ago. So don't let people pull on your emotions, Pisces. Don't let people pull on your emotions, but also learn how to have those boundaries for yourself, so that they're not tested by somebody else. Because if you're very strong in your frame, if you're very strong and set in your boundaries, what you want and what you need, other people won't be able to influence or manipulate, right? Or pull on your emotions if you already know what you want, what you need, and you're able to enforce that. Queen of Cups in the reverse, right underneath the devil. It can talk about people, you know, using your emotions against you, or trying to manipulate your emotions, or feeling emotionally distant or emotionally disconnected. It can also talk about someone that has lust for you. They may be a little bit obsessive over you, whether you know this or not. Queen of Cups in the reverse. Strength in the reverse. Blocked by fear, self-doubt, a reminder not to be guided by the lizard part of your brain, a need to exercise self-control, self-destructive impulses. This card reminds you to stand strong in your beliefs and desires and remain steady as you bring compassion to your current situation. You're powerful, and your purity of heart will be a beacon of strength and inspiration to those around you. Okay, Pisces, so the strength in the reverse is connecting to boundaries again. There may be some things, Pisces, that you're just really not into, okay? Or that you don't really enjoy, or that are just like, it simply does not work for you. And so you need to be strong and uphold your beliefs, your values, your morals. You need to be able to really state your needs and your wants and your desires out of a relationship, out of a connection, out of a certain situation to get what it is that you want. Like, don't bend and don't fold for somebody else. Don't compromise yourself or overcompromise yourself or put somebody else's needs or values before your own, okay? You may not only need to communicate the things that you want and need, you may also need to enforce it. The strength in the reverse. Some of you Pisces may be going through, it's like the strength in the reverse can talk about when you come into connection with others. It's like there's this sense of like, where do you start, where do you end? It's like you immediately start to connect with the other person. You immediately start to merge with them and really collect all this information, really tune into their emotions and their feelings. And when you're in the presence of others, you may not even realize how in tune you are to their energy, how in tune you are to their emotions, to their needs, and to their wants without really assessing your own. It's like you by yourself standing alone, you're strong. You're in your frame. But when you come into connection with others, you may very well start to pick up on their cues, on their emotional shifts and changes, and you may be tuning more into their wants and their needs instead of your own. Okay, so there's something here about not bending, not folding, not only stating what it is that you want and need and the things that you don't like, the things that you're not really into. Again, it could be as simple as somebody wants you to come over and, I don't know, maybe spend some quality time, or somebody wants you to go to a football game or a basketball game, or I don't know, like they want to go on a camping trip or a fishing trip or something like that, right? But it may not be something that you actually enjoy. Okay, you may not actually like to watch sports, or vice versa, right? You know, someone may want you to go shopping and you may actually not enjoy that too much. Whatever it is, it's kind of like having that boundary and having that strength within yourself, that not just because you want to spend time with somebody or spend some quality time together, that it has to be something you guys both enjoy, something you guys both want to do. Okay, not you compromising for something they want to do and not them just compromising for something you want to do, but hold strong into the things that you want out of a connection and out of a relationship, and being able to communicate that. Because the moon in the reverse can also talk about navigating the unknown. Maybe you're in the early stages of a relationship or a situation, or maybe you feel like there's a lot of uncertainty or unknown, like you don't know what to make out of it. And so because you're navigating uncertainty, there may be some self-doubt in your energy. There's also a fear of loss, and I don't know if this is coming in from the let go card, because we had the 5 of Cups clarifying the let go. So the way that this is connecting, Pisces, is to not allow someone to influence you as a person or to influence your decisions. Some of you, Pisces, may like to, again, like you may like to please people, okay? Not like a people pleaser, but you may be very attuned to other people's energies and their wants and their needs, that you may want there to be harmony all around. So it's like you tend to really tune into other people's energies without really acknowledging or knowing what's yours. So it's like in your private space, in your presence, you know what it is that you want, you know what it is that you don't want. But when you come into a connection with others, you really need that time away so that you can really tune into yourself again. Because the Queen of Cups is in the reverse. This is why it's coming in this way. Queen of Cups in the reverse means that you're not very in tune with yourself. You may be in tune with others, but you may not be very in tune with yourself in other connections. And that devil in the upright can be toxic to you. 9 of Wands in the reverse. Own boundaries. You may be inadvertently choosing a more difficult path because you believe on some level that healing and ascension should be difficult. Sometimes becoming so enamored with our own stories of rising up that our own shadows become romantic notions that we seek to defend. Let go of any ideas you have about navigating specific lessons on your path. Your time to relax into security and success is on the horizon. I push beyond my own perceived limitations, and I remain open and trusting as I do. Pisces, some of you may be like, some Page of Swords, some of you may be reconnecting with yourself, and it's like you feel like a brand new person. You feel very fresh, like who you thought that you were, or the things that used to apply to you no longer apply. It's like some way, somehow you've shed that skin, you've rebirthed yourself, and you're having to really learn yourself all over again. You're having to learn life and yourself and the things that you like and the things that you don't like. It's like kind of like getting to know yourself for the first time, even though it's not the first time. It just feels like you had some kind of a rebirth, some kind of a shedding skin, some kind of a transformation. And the Page of Swords is like you're trying to learn yourself again. Learn yourself, how you are, within yourself, within your own presence, how you are with others, how you connect with others, how you navigate this world, and really learning the balance. Learning the balance so that connections, relationships, environments don't turn toxic for you. You tend to take on a lot, Pisces. Strength in the reverse. You tend to take on a lot. Not just, in your own life, in your own world, but from other people. And this is why boundaries is highlighted with the lovers. Lovers, the devil, and boundaries. Your relationships, Pisces, may tend to turn toxic because of how much you give, or how much you're there, how much you care, how much you love. Because to the depth that you're able to care and love for another person, it's like, when that's not reciprocated, it creates an imbalance, okay? And again, Pisces tend to be hardcore lovers. Pisces love with all their heart. Pisces tend to care so much. And when that doesn't come back reciprocated, not because the other person doesn't care, but simply because they don't have that depth of emotion. They don't have that much of an old soul, or they don't have that capacity to love so unconditionally like you do. Queen of Cups in the reverse, it creates some kind of imbalance that creates more of like a toxic environment or a toxic connection. But this can be avoided with the right boundaries. It's like you have to, what I'm feeling here, Pisces, is like you have to teach someone how they how to talk to you, how to relate with you, how to treat you. It's like you're having to teach someone what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. What times can they call you? You know, the fact that maybe you don't want to be texting all day, the fact that, you know, maybe you don't want to meet every single day or talk every single day. It's like having those boundaries. And it's like teaching someone how to treat you, teaching someone how to address you, teaching someone how to connect with you, how to talk with you, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't like, what you're into, what you're not into, what you're willing to compromise on, what you're not, okay? It feels like something very clear. There needs to be a middle ground and a boundary right down the middle when it comes to the lovers, connections and relationships, because if not, this lovers turns into the devil, toxicity. Whether it's obsessive thoughts, thinking about a person too much, having a lot of lust for that person, whether they have a lot of lust for you or vice versa, feeling tied or bound, overdoing something, having addictions. Why the Queen of Cups in the reverse, Holy Spirit? Why the Queen of Cups in the reverse for Pisces? Four Swords. Pisces, you're having to heal some kind of emotional wound, okay? You're having to heal some of your emotions when it comes to relationships. Why the Queen of Cups for Pisces, Holy Spirit, in the reverse? Why the Queen of Cups in the reverse for Pisces? Ooh, Five of Cups again. Pisces, yes. Okay, Pisces, you either give so much of yourself or you tend to care so much, or you view people in relationships for what they can be, right? So you view them from the potential of what it can become than the reality of what it is, okay? Because the Five of Cups is all about disillusionment. The Four of Swords is having to heal from that disillusionment. It's like something may be so much better in your mind, okay? Something may be so much better in your head than it actually is in reality, okay? This is why this talks about like the rose-colored glasses being like shattered or the rose-colored glasses coming off. Four of Swords having to heal from that. Okay, I don't know for who this is, Pisces. This is coming in. For some of you, Pisces, you may need to keep your options open, okay? You may need to kind of keep your options open so that you don't really kind of like overinvest into one person, because Pisces, you have a really big heart. So you need to have, you know, some kind of like service, whether it's, you know, service to animals or to kids or to causes that you believe in, because you have so much love to give. You care so much that if you focus that on one person, you're gonna grow some kind of attachment and it can turn toxic. So because you have such a big capacity for love and you are an unconditional lover, you need to be able to spread that love around, whether it's, you know, between different family members or different friends that you spend time with, or the relationship, the partner that you're with, or maybe at an animal shelter or helping kids or some kind of service, so that all that love, all that care, all those emotions don't just get invested into one thing or one person, so that it could be spread around so that it becomes healthy and balanced, okay? Because this talks about having to heal from disillusionment and disappointment. So it's like having your options open so that love gets spread around generously and in a very balanced way, rather than, again, being focused on one person or one thing, so that it doesn't lead to the Queen of Cups in the reverse, because the Queen of Cups in the reverse can also talk about someone that feels so much or loves so much to the point where, you know, they can also just go cold and disconnect emotionally, okay? Because Pisces tends to feel so much that it's either you're overwhelmed because you're feeling everything so much, you're sensitive, it's like a sensory overload kind of situation, or you tend to just be numb, completely numb and disconnected, you know? And it goes to two different extremes, because Pisces is duality. It's one fish swimming upward, another one swimming downward. So this is something to pay attention to. And yeah, Page of Swords, it feels like a very fresh energy, Pisces, like you're having to learn yourself again. You're having to really get to know yourself again, and learn what works for you, what doesn't work, and not going all into something, not go big or go home kind of situation, but doing things in a more balanced, slow way, and communicating your needs and your wants and holding a boundary, okay? I don't know why I'm getting that, okay? Like if you don't want to do something, if you don't like something, if you're not really into those kinds of activities or those kinds of things, just to spend time together or have quality time doesn't mean that you have to compromise. You have to find things that you both want to do, okay? Because that boundaries needs to be communicated in the lovers, because you can tend to merge with another person, and when you think that you want something, in reality, you're just tuned into what they want. You're just tuned into what they want and what they like. And when you're alone, it's like it's very easy for you to know how you feel, what you need, what you want. But when you come into connection with others, You're very heightened and aware to their needs and their wants. And again, it's not like a people-pleasing kind of thing. On an from an unhealthy, you know, perspective, yes, it can look like people-pleasing, but for you, it's just the fact that you're a Pisces. So you're very in tune with your surroundings and very heightened to other people's emotions. And yeah, so it's like you may think that it's coming from you, but it may be coming from the other person. So that's what is coming in as boundaries. Know where you end and where you begin, what belongs to you, what doesn't belong to you, and hold those boundaries in place so that your connections don't turn toxic. Okay, we have the Star in the reverse, the Five of Wands. You're on the right path. Please clarify, Holy Spirit, anything else you want Pisces to know about this energy coming in. Okay, we have we have the Devil again, Pisces. Wow. Okay, so Five of Wands to the Devil and the Star in the reverse to the Judgment. So you have 3 major arcanas coming up for the You're on the Right Path card from the Oracle side. So again, the Star in the reverse talks about losing hope or faith, either in yourself, in the journey, on the path that you're currently on, because of the conflict and the competition that you had to go through, whether it's trauma, chaos, destruction, people that have envy or jealousy towards you, the Devil in the upright, things that have turned toxic. You know, it's like you may have felt like you drifted from the initial path or you lost a sense of direction, but Spirit is confirming that you're actually on the right path. And at this moment, Judgment coming in the upright, you are leveling up. You are going through a transformation. You are leveling up to a new phase of your life, and it may not feel familiar. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel foreign. It may feel a little bit weird. But Spirit is confirming that just because it doesn't look the way that you thought it was going to look or feel the way that you thought it was going to feel, it doesn't mean that you strayed from the path. It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path, if that makes sense. It just means that you literally are transforming. You literally are leveling up and rising to this next version of you. And so it's just like you're a new person now. So whatever you went through in the past that, again, was either toxic or brought conflict or made you lose faith or hope, either in yourself or the path or the journey, this was a part of the process. And now you're leveling up from that phase of discomfort or feeling unfamiliar or foreign to your path or to what you thought your dreams were. And Spirit is confirming you are in fact on the right path. And as you are going through the motions, you are also transforming and leveling up. So there's a need to go easy on yourself. And if you are doubting, you're on the right path. Your patience is going to pay off, Pisces. And there's a need to show gratitude before actually receiving your blessings, because they are coming in. Connecting with another water sign, another Pisces. I'm getting that very strongly here. Holy Spirit, what is the Lovers for Pisces? What is the Lovers for Pisces? What do you want Pisces to know about this energy? So Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups in the reverse, Nine of Wands again in the reverse, and Page of Wands in the upright. Why is the Ace of Cups in the reverse? Queen of Swords in the reverse, and Ace of Pentacles in the upright. Pisces, you have 3 aces coming in with the Lovers. For some of you, Pisces, you're getting into a new connection, or you're in the beginning stages of a new connection, or there is a new beginning in relationships and love for you. But the Ace of Cups is in the reverse, and clarifying the Ace of Cups in the reverse, we have the Queen of Swords in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles. Pisces, some of these connections, or if this is a new connection, is going to be different than what you're used to. It's going to be different than what you're used to. So it's like, don't go about it the same way that you usually do, or don't have the same expectations or the same ideas of what a relationship or love should look like, because this may be a little bit different. Because the Ace of Cups is in the reverse. This talks about an emotional connection and love. It's in the reverse, but it is clarified by an Ace of Pentacles in the upright. This may start a little bit different. It may either start with something to do with work, money, something physical, like commitment. Like it may start off in a more earthly, balanced, physical way rather than an emotional connection. which is, it may be something that you're not used to, okay? But it doesn't mean that it's not, it doesn't mean that it's not aligned. It may be different than what you're used to. Very clear communication and communicate your needs and your wants, but not to do it in a way that is like cold or direct or kind of like, because the Queen of Swords in the reverse can also talk about a little bit of bitterness or bitch, you know, like, you know, being very direct or very cold in the way that you communicate. And so Queen of Swords in the reverse to the Eight of Cups in the reverse, Justice in the reverse to Four of Swords in the reverse. In the past, you've walked away from connections or you've moved on from people very fast. And that created some kind of imbalance or an injustice. Either an injustice was done to you, and this is why you walked away, or this is why you acted the way that you acted. But the Queen of Swords in the reverse can also talk about just being very cold. Can also talk about being a little bit bitter, okay, of something that ended in a specific way. Four of Swords and that you didn't fully heal from. And so all that needs to be put to the side in this new relationship or in this new connection, because Nine of Wands is here in the reverse again. There's a need to open up and trust people and not be so defensive or so protective over yourself. Page of Wands, allow the passion and the creativity to drive this connection. Ace of Swords, have very clear communication and have very clear expectations, needs, and wants, and communicate that, because it feels like it's going to be different than your past or previous connections or relationships. Tell me more about this Ace of Cups in the reverse, Holy Spirit. Three of Wands in the upright. Okay, this feels like an incoming connection, Pisces. It's either you're in the beginning stages of a new connection or there's a new connection coming in, but there's a need to do things differently than how you usually do them. This may be a very different kind of connection than what you're used to. Okay, it may be a different kind of person. It may start off very different. Three of Wands. This means it's coming in, okay? There's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement for something new. Six of Swords after a major transition in your life. Seven of Pentacles is something worth investing into. But it's going to be different than what you're used to, okay? Maybe the emotional connection comes after, okay? It doesn't feel like it's at the forefront. Ace of Swords to Ace of Pentacles. Three aces, three brand new beginnings, Pisces. Okay, what I'm getting here specifically, because I'm having a hard time articulating this without making it very specific because I'm trying to keep this general, but it feels like you went through a situation in the past, Queen of Swords in the reverse to Four of Swords in the reverse. You didn't fully heal from how things ended or how things unfolded in this connection or this relationship. Something was unbalanced, something was unfair, something was unjust. Eight of Cups in the reverse, you ended up walking away, but nothing was resolved in this situation, and you don't want that to repeat again. You don't want that to happen again in your life. You don't want to repeat that lesson. Queen of Swords can also talk about being a little bit bitter, being a little bit cold, very direct in communication. Maybe it's like it may come out, or it may come off a different way than how you intended it or how you meant it, right? It's like, you know, maybe you say something in your head and you say it out loud and it sounds really like, it sounds really direct, or it sounds really cold, or kind of like, yeah, it's just like you may not intend to say things a certain way, or you may not intend for them to come out a certain way, but it's like having to have that self-awareness or being very self-conscious of how it sounds or how it may come off to another person. Because for some of you, Pisces, you were hurt in the past and you didn't fully heal from what happened. And there's a fear of not wanting that to repeat again in your life. And so there's something new coming in. The Lovers, three aces coming in, Three of Wands, your ships are coming in, Six of Swords after transition. There's a connection here worth investing into, but it's going to happen different than your past connections. And there's a need to not self-sabotage the connection or self-sabotage yourself. And just be very aware how you communicate and how it comes out. A sharp and sometimes cold communication. Strive to use your words wisely and to refrain from being mean or emotional. Oh, okay, or emotional. Indifference, a message to use your head more than your heart. Less aloofness, bitterness. Yeah. Okay, Pisces, yes. You went through something in the past that left a bad taste in your mouth. It was not a positive experience. The way that it ended, the way that it happened, you haven't fully healed from whatever that was in the past. And so there's a need to, again, not be bitter, not to be aloof. You know, maybe you say something in your head and it sounds right, but when you say it out loud, it just, you know, it comes out a completely different way, and it may, you know, come off wrong, or it may hurt the other person or something like that. You know, it may come out cold. Just Queen of Swords in the reverse. Sometimes this communication style can come across as cold or cutting. So if you're having trouble communicating something that is difficult for another person to hear, know that you can always dip your toe into a cup of empathy and compassion to help with your delivery. Sharp analysis and careful consideration are always intelligent moves, as being able to clearly connect with others in a way that is easily accepted and understood. A clear heart and a clear mind will allow you to speak your truth always. You want to express that, you know, that's not something you like, that's not something that you're into, but you do want to spend quality time with that person. So it's maybe the fact of like, hey, you know what, how about we find something we both enjoy? How about we find something that is, you know, comfortable to both of us, something that is fair for both of us, so that you don't feel like you're compromising yourself for something they want to do and you don't want to do, and so they don't feel like they're having to compromise for something they don't want to do, you know, in a sense. And so something here with struggling in the way that you communicate with that person, how you communicate your emotions and your feelings to that person. Because for you, you may have had experiences in the past that left you hurting, and it's like you don't want to repeat that. So it's like you're trying to protect yourself, and at the same time you're trying to connect with a new person. And so you don't know how to draw the line. Again, just like the saying, don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. It feels like there's a new connection, or you're in the early stages of a brand new connection that is worth investing into. It comes with 3 brand new beginnings, but there's a need to not self-sabotage the connection, or again, relive some of those past pains or those past traumas in this new connection, in this new situation. Holy Spirit, what is your advice for Pisces when it comes to the lovers? What is your advice for Pisces when it comes to the lovers? 10 of Pentacles. Okay, a lot of abundance coming in this connection, the Hierophant. This can turn into a higher level of commitment, or it can be a more traditional kind of relationship that, again, is paired with a lot of abundance and prosperity. What is your advice for Pisces? Okay, that's too many cards. Just one more card, Holy Spirit. What is your advice for Pisces, Holy Spirit, when it comes to this connection? When it comes to the lovers, what is your advice? 4 of Pentacles. Okay, Pisces, so for some of you, again, whether it's the beginning stages of a new connection or a new connection coming into your life, the advice is 10 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the 4 of Pentacles. Pisces, this connection can be something long-term, very successful, very abundant, very prosperous. The 10 of Pentacles is a very wealthy card, meaning that when you're connected to this person, your finances, your abundance, your wealth, whether it's your cash flow, your investments, your savings, 4 of Pentacles talks about savings and foundation, all of that's going to improve. Like, this connection is going to bring a lot of prosperity into your life. And for some of you, it may turn into something even higher than that. It may turn into something very traditional. It may turn into a higher level of commitment. And the Hierophant also talks about getting married. So that's just for some of you, Pisces, but there's a lot of potential in this new connection. But again, it's like it may happen or it may unfold in a different way than how you're used to, okay? If you're used to connecting with a person based on emotions and feelings, like maybe this is going to take a little bit longer to develop in this connection. Maybe it's something more about clarity and how you guys communicate. And the Ace of Pentacles, a brand new beginning to build something together. You know, it may start off in a different way. Because the lovers can also talk about the spark, the flame, the chemistry that you feel in the beginning, whereas this feels more grounded. It can feel more like compatibility, more like, you know, spending time together. Like you get this feeling of peace, or you get this feeling of, you know, it's like not all this excitement and butterflies in your stomach and feelings and emotions, you know, and that flame, but it's like it can start off as something more balanced and more stable, and it can actually turn into something extremely, extremely abundant. Hierophant, something traditional and long-term. 4 of Pentacles, something that you can build a foundation on, something that brings a feeling of safety, stability, something that's solid. So this Pisces has a lot of potential, whether it's the beginning stages of a new connection or somebody new that's coming into your life. And then we have the 10 of Cups. So we have 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. This is a really good sign when it comes to relationships. This talks about emotional fulfillment, and this talks about abundance, prosperity, and wealth. Yeah, okay. I'm starting to really piece this together, Pisces. I don't know why the message is coming in so... It's like I'm having to piece this all together, but I'm trying not to make it as specific. I'm trying to keep it as general as possible, but this is for sure a relationship, okay? It is romantic, okay? We do have the lovers. It is romantic. Whether, again, it's a new connection coming into your life or you're already connecting with this person and it's the beginning stages, there's so much potential. 3 aces, 3 brand new beginnings, but the Ace of Cups is in the reverse. Again, so it's not like, you know, like you're going to feel all this love right off the bat, or you're going to feel all these emotions and feelings right off the bat. Like that may develop further into the connection. It doesn't feel like it's something toxic. You know how they say butterflies in your stomach? That actually feels like anxiety. That feels like uneasiness. This may be a lot more stable, like more mellow, okay, as you move into this connection. But again, 10 of Pentacles, you're gonna see a lot of, when you connect with this person, it's like your life is going to improve. Whether it's your finances, your prosperity, your business, your career. The 10 of Pentacles is the wealthiest card out of the entire tarot deck. And the 10 of Cups signifies emotional fulfillment. So this has a potential, Pisces, to be a more long-term connection. It has potential to go the distance. And with the Hierophant, for some of you, this is marriage. It's a conventional, traditional kind of relationship or a higher level of commitment. 4 of Pentacles, strong, solid, a foundation, someone that cares for you, protects you. But again, it's like exploring the creativity, exploring the passion, but it may not feel like your previous connections. This may be very different than what you're used to. I don't know why that message keeps coming back in. It's like looping me back around. 9 of Wands, there's the need to drop down your defenses, drop down your walls. For some of you, Pisces, this new person you already met, okay? And for some of you, it's coming in. Because the 3 of Wands talks about your ships coming in, 6 of Swords after the transition you just went through, 7 of Pentacles. This is something worth investing into. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clarify the 10 of Cups, and then we're going to move on to the King of Cups, and then we're going to pull out the advice and wrap up the reading here. Holy Spirit, what do you want Pisces to know about this 10 of Cups? I'm getting strong Pisces, okay? So some of you are connecting with a Pisces or a water sign here. Strong Pisces energy coming in. The Hangman to the High Priestess to the King of Cups and the 10 of Cups. Strong water sign. Holy Spirit, this 10 of Cups. What do you want Pisces to know about the 10 of Cups coming in? 8 of Cups. What do you want Pisces to know about the 10 of Cups? 2 of Cups in the reverse. Why the 9 of Pentacles? Knight of Wands in the reverse. Pisces, in the past, some of you chose yourself and you chose your singlehood. You chose your abundance, you chose your wealth over another person or over passion and chemistry. And that's actually a really good sign because it shows maturity. It's like you chose your sense of independence, you chose your sense of peace, you chose yourself over somebody that was in and out of your life, someone that was very passionate, there was a lot of chemistry, but it was very toxic, someone that was very inconsistent with you. It's like you chose you over that person or over that connection. You decided to walk away from a person that was very inconsistent in your life. 2 of Cups in the reverse. There was a separation. You walked away from them. And because of that, you're well on your way to something much better, okay? You decided to release a 2 of Cups for a 10 of Cups. You wanted something greater than just a connection. You wanted emotional fulfillment from your relationships. And so what I'm getting here, Pisces, is some of you would rather go at it alone than be in the wrong relationship or with the wrong person. Again, someone that's inconsistent, someone that's a little bit immature, something that is just like a flame. There's just chemistry, but there's nothing more outside of that. It's like you chose yourself, you walked away, and you separated from this person. For some of you, it was a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And because of that, you're well on your way to a 10 of Cups. What do you want Pisces to know about this 10 of Cups, Holy Spirit? 8 of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, there was a connection here where you felt like you lost yourself, okay? You felt bound and trapped, restricted or limited to this connection. And you decided to walk away. Tell me more about this 10 of Cups for Pisces. What do you want Pisces to know about this 10 of Cups? Page of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. Again, Pisces, this is the third time that we get it. Eight of Pentacles, Page of Wands. Okay, yeah, you chose yourself, Pisces. You chose something that you were more aligned with, okay? Something that was helping you feel more grounded rather than unstable or unbalanced, okay? This person might have brought an imbalance to your life. Nine of Wands, your defenses went up. Eight of Pentacles, you decided to focus into your work, into your craft, into yourself. Page of Wands, that's about to pay off for you, and it's leading you to a Ten of Cups, an emotionally fulfilling relationship. Holy Spirit, what is your advice for Pisces when it comes to the Ten of Cups? What is your advice for Pisces? We have the Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords. You have a union coming in, Pisces, whether it's new friends, new relationships, new connections that are going to be very fulfilling for you. The Knight of Swords, you're also going tunnel vision on yourself and your goals and your success, your progress. You're well on your way, Pisces, to a major success, okay? And a part of that success is going to be really healthy, positive relationships. Three of Cups, for some of you, this is soul family, soul tribe, new friends, new connections, new relationships, soulmates that are going to be Ten of Cups, emotionally fulfilling. King of Cups, Pisces, you've come into a mastery of your emotions. Clarify this King of Cups for Pisces. What do you want Pisces to know about this King of Cups? Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, the Tower in the upright, and we have the Hermit. Yes, Pisces, you've become a master of your emotions. You've gained a lot of wisdom, and you've been able to balance out your emotions through the chaos, through the Tower moments. Ace of Pentacles, you've kept yourself balanced and emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent through every kind of adversity that you went through. Ace of Pentacles can talk about false starts as well. It's like some way, somehow, you navigated these situations to the best of your abilities and you attained your mastery through that. And because of that, you're going the distance. You're coming to the Lovers, a new connection, a new relationship. That Ten of Cups has the potential to be emotionally fulfilling and very prosperous for you. But it's been a long way for you. And you've had to transform into a completely new person to be able to attract this kind of relationship into your life. Why the High Priestess for Pisces? Please clarify the High Priestess for Pisces. Okay, the Moon and the Five of Cups. Yeah, there's been a lot of unknown, Pisces, disappointments, things that simply did not work out. And maybe in that process, you started to doubt your intuition. Maybe you started to doubt why you decided to invest into something or into someone. If your intuition was really your intuition, or if it was your fear or your mind or your thoughts. The Moon can talk about, again, navigating the unknown, having to trust your intuition because you simply don't know what's in front of you. You simply don't know what's ahead. And through that process, you've learned to really hone in on your intuition and master your abilities to make your way out of any kind of disappointment. Why the High Priestess for Pisces, Holy Spirit? So we have the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. There's new offers coming in, Pisces, that you're going to have to use your intuition for, but they're going to lead to a lot of abundance and prosperity. Queen of Pentacles. Some way, somehow, Pisces, your intuition is going to pay off in a physical way, okay? Pentacles talks about money, can talk about business, investments, career. And Knight of Cups, there's a lot of new offers coming into your life that you're going to have to use your intuition for, but your intuition is going to pay off big time, okay? When it comes to money, abundance, and prosperity. Holy Spirit, any final advice for Pisces when it comes to this reading? Any final advice for Pisces when it comes to this reading? Four of Swords, Six of Cups, Eight of Wands, Three of Swords. Pisces, there's a need to heal any past heartbreak that you've been through. Okay, right now is the time to heal that and to wrap up the healing cycle, because you don't constantly need to be healing. Into Six of Cups, releasing the memories, releasing the past, because Eight of Wands, your future has a lot of positive momentum. You know, there's brighter days, there's better things coming in, and there's a need to focus on your future rather than the past. So any kind of final healing that you need to do or clear out of your way, or cord cutting meditation, releasing yourself from past connections or past memories, right now is the time to let go of that. Whether it's an old version of yourself, an old phase in your life, a person in your life, There's a need to complete the healing cycle. 3 of Swords to 4 of Swords, 6 of Cups, release the memories, 8 of Wands, because you have a lot of positive momentum and good karma coming your way. Again, 8 of Wands can also talk about victory, success, velocity, travel, speed, and communication. So there's a lot to look forward to, Pisces, and there's a need to release the past. Again, all of your cards are really positive. The Lovers to the 10 of Cups, whatever this new relationship or connection is, it looks very promising. High Priestess, your intuition is going to pay off in money, okay, in terms of abundance and prosperity. High Priestess to the Queen of Pentacles to the King of Cups, you've attained emotional mastery and emotional maturity and emotional intelligence through the adversities and the changes and the false starts that you've been through. You've also attained a lot of wisdom, Pisces. This is all I have for your reading. If you would like to book a private service, all the information is in the description box below. But for now, this is all I have. Blessings. Take care.